Oh, and the last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to disable the waiting room. So anybody else who wants to come in can come in, and then hopefully we won't get Zoom bombed. All right, so let's come to our, hang on, I have to do one more thing before I go back to my spot. I mustn't forget the fact that I have diabetes. All right, so let's come into a comfortable seat, and that comfortable seat can be cross-legged. You can just be sitting with your legs out. You can have your back against a wall. You can be sitting on your heels if that's comfortable. If you've got a prop or something like that, you might want to sit up on something, have a little bit of height, like a block or a pillow or something, so that your knees are lower than your hips. So just sitting in any way that's comfortable to you. And I'm just going to get you to close your eyes and put one hand on your chest, just around your heart area, and one hand on your belly. And we're not going to like specifically breathe in any particular way, but I just want you to just feel the warmth of your hand on your belly, of your hand on your chest. And just closing your eyes and just coming into the present moment. And just noticing what's happening in your body right now. Noticing if you feel any tension anywhere. And just letting go. Feeling your shoulders relaxed. Body relaxed. And then just let your hands come down. And we're just going to start really simply by moving on the breath, just with the arms and the pelvis. So you're just going to start by tucking your tailbone under slightly. So if you were going to look at this from the side, you just allow the tailbone to draw under slightly. And then as you inhale, feel your hip bones moving forward slightly. So we're really just going to be rocking on the pelvis. So as you exhale, tucking the tailbone under, letting your chin drop, just feeling the rounding through the spine. And as you inhale, feel that pelvis moving forward, opening through the chest. And again, as you exhale, tuck the tailbone under slightly. Feel the top corners of your shoulders round, let the back of the neck drop, chin down. And then as you inhale, feel the hip bones coming forward, opening through the chest, shoulders, draw down the back. And then as you exhale now, bring your hands out in front, bringing the palms to touch. And then as you inhale, let the arms open out so that you really feel a nice stretch across the front of your chest. And then again, as you exhale, rounding through the lower spine, feeling the palms coming together. And as you inhale, feel your pelvis moving forward and feel your chest opening. And again, as you exhale, tucking the tailbone under, rounding through the lower spine, bringing the palms to touch. And as you inhale, moving the pelvis forward and opening through the chest. And then on your next exhalation, interlace the fingers, press the palms away, rounding through the upper spine. And then as you inhale, raise your arms up. And then as you exhale, lower the arms. Fingertips reach towards the floor. And then as you inhale, interlace the fingers and just draw the knuckles back. And then just slowly move your right shoulder forwards. And then move your left shoulder forwards. And then move your right shoulder forwards. And move your left shoulder forwards. And then just come back to center. And then just release and rest your hands. Palms facing upwards on your thighs, feeling the back of your neck long. And then again, interlace the fingers, take a breath in. And as you exhale, tuck the tailbone under and round the upper spine. Inhale, raise the arms up. And then as you exhale, take hold of your left elbow with your right hand and draw the hand right in between the shoulder blades. So no matter which way you are, whether you're cross-legged or sitting on your heels or have your legs extended, now you're going to take the body and lean over to the right side. Really feel that stretch and opening through the left side of your chest. And then inhale, come back to center, hold on to the opposite elbow, pressing the palm in between the armpits and leaning over to the other side. Really feel that stretch through the side body. And then inhale and coming back to center. And then releasing the arms, bring the hands again to rest on the thighs and just close your eyes. And really tune into that feeling of circulation coming into the upper part of your body. All right, again, interlacing your fingers, rounding your upper spine. Inhale, raising the arms up. And this time, twist the torso to the right side. So as you twist the torso to the right side, lift a little bit taller on the inhalation. And then twist a little bit further on the exhalation. And then inhale, come back to center. Lift a little bit higher and turn to the other side. So you're lifting up, breathing in, and then exhale, twisting further. And then coming back to center and releasing. We're going to extend the legs out in front of us now. And take your hands behind you. If you have any wrist issues, come up onto your fists. And we're just going to start by rocking on the pelvis. So a little bit of a faster movement than we were doing before. Pointing and flexing and just moving on the pelvis. Breathing here. Letting the breath just be totally natural. And then point and flex and point and flex. So you're actually destabilizing the sacroiliac a little bit. Just see how that feels. If there's any pressure with sciatica or anything, just go easy. And then just let the feet fall open to the side. So you're really shaking your thigh muscles and letting them go. And then point your fingertips towards your buttocks, bend your knees, have your feet flat on the floor, and then just really gently lift just the pelvis. You don't have to lift all the way. You can if that feels comfortable. If it's strong on your wrists, you'll do all of this on your fists, right? So you'll come up onto your fists, you'll lift your pelvis slightly, or you'll lift up all the way. Feeling that stretch behind the shoulders. And then slowly coming down. We're going to come up onto the hands and knees now. So having your hands underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips, and we're going to start with a little bit of a swirl. So you're going to take your weight to your right buttock and then to your left buttock. So we're just going to, like as if we had a tail, and we're just moving our tail from one side to the other. And really feel that sensation of stretching into the outer hip. And then extend your left leg back, just your left leg. But keep the ball of the foot on the floor. And then bring that knee down and extend the right leg back, pressing into the floor, pressing into the ball of the foot. All right, and then just make sure you've got enough room by moving your hands slightly forward. You're going to take your right knee and then cross your right thigh over your left thigh. And then you're going to extend that leg back again. And then bring the weight into the ball of the foot so that you feel the stretch in your calf muscle. And then you're going to inhale and bring that knee forward and cross the right thigh over the left. And then see if you can sit back. So this might be too much. If it is, just stay here. And then again, extending that leg back. And this time, open the chest. And one more time, you're going to draw that knee in. You can inhale here and then exhale, cross. And if you can, tuck the toes under and sit back. But if you can't, just stay where you are. And then on your next inhalation, drawing that leg back and pressing into the ball of the foot. And then bring both knees to meet each other. So you're going to extend the left leg back now. And then you're going to bring the left knee in, crossing the left thigh over the right. If you want, you can draw back. You can do this on the balls of the feet. Otherwise, just extending that leg back and pressing into the ball, taking the weight back so you feel the stretch through the hamstring and the calf muscle. And then again, bringing it forwards, crossing it over, sitting back if you can, and then coming up. So you can make this as big or as little as you like as you draw back. All right, and then bring both knees together. Again, you're going to take your right leg back this time, and then raise the left arm forward and turn the torso. So you're opening out to the side, lengthening through the fingers, feeling the stretch from your wrist all the way to your fingers. And then bring that hand down and bring the knee down. And then extend the left leg back, raise the right arm and open to the other side, feeling that stretch from wrist all the way through to wrist. And then bring the hand, knee to the floor. And then let's send the seat back to the heels. Relax your forearms and let your forehead rest on the floor. Take a few breaths here. Feel the breath into the back of your body. If it's uncomfortable to have your knees together, take your knees out a little bit so there's room for your belly, room to extend. So whatever feels comfortable. And then again, inhale, coming up. We're going to come onto the hands and knees. And now we're going to do the traditional cat and cow. So hands are underneath the shoulders. You're going to inhale, bend the elbows and open the chest. And exhale, round through the lower spine, letting your head release. And again, tucking the toes under, bending the elbows, opening through the chest. And exhale, rounding through the lower spine and letting your head release. And again, tucking the toes under, bending the elbows, opening through the chest. And exhale, rounding through the lower spine, sending the seat back to the heels. And then see how this goes, rising up onto the knees, reaching the arms out to the side, bringing the palms to touch. And then reaching the palms to the ceiling, lifting tall. You can lean back slightly if you like. And then exhale, lengthening forwards, hands to the floor. And then inhale onto the hands and knees. And then let's lift the knees, send the weight back, and we're going to come into down dog. And let's walk through in down dog. So you're going to bend one leg and straighten the other. And then bend the other leg, other knee, and straighten the other. So we're just going to walk through in down dog. Really stretching into the back of the heel, breathing here, feeling that openness through the chest, not worrying too much about the alignment, just using this as a stretch and a warm-up. And then coming back onto the hands and knees and sending the seat back to the heels. And again, curling through the spine, rising up onto the knees, reaching the arms out, big breath, inhale, open the chest. And then exhale, lengthening all the way forwards. And once again, inhale onto the hands and knees, lift the knees, send the sitting bones high. This time, let's bend the knees. So we're going to bend the knees so that we really send the weight back. We don't want to have too much weight in our wrists and our hands. So the more you bend the knees, the easier it is. If it's too strong, you can always come onto your knees and just reach your arms out in front and get the same kind of extension for the spine. So lifting into that down dog position. And again, you can walk if you like, or you can rest in a stillness. Pressurize your thumb and index finger. Connect with your breath. Inhalation and exhalation. And then again, dropping onto the hands and knees and sending the seat back to the heels. And curling through the spine, raising the arms up, interlacing the fingers, palms to the ceiling. And then from here, we're going to bring the hands to the hips. And we're going to step the right leg forwards. And then bring your hands either side of your front foot. And just move your right foot forward slightly enough so that you can really deepen into the groin here. So feeling the opening from the inner thigh all the way up to the base of your ribs, working into the psoas, but keeping the belly on the thigh. So it's really a nice massage also for this right side of the belly. And breathe deeply, feeling the back of this body breathing. All right, and then bringing that right knee back and extending the left foot forward. And again, moving that foot slightly forward, just deepening through the groin here, spreading the toes, back of the neck long. Breathe so that you feel the breath in the back of your body. So the tendency sometimes is that our breath gets really shallow, but if we compress the front of the body, then we bring that breath into the back of the body. And apparently that's really where the lungs are much more active, is at the back, not the front. All right, and then bringing both knees back together, tucking the toes under, reaching your arms out in front. Last down dog for now. We're going to lift all the way up again, bending the knees to send the weight back, spreading the fingers, and then slowly walking the feet towards the hands and the hands towards the feet. Keep the knees nice and bent. Now, if this is bothering your lower back, you can actually come into a flat back here. And I've just realized that maybe we're not, once I stand up, I'm going to be cut off. So I might need to just move the computer back slightly. Whoops. Okay. Yeah, that's better, right? Okay. So, yeah, so either you're here or you're here. Okay. And then from here, we're all going to, whether we're halfway or whether we're forwards, we're going to bring our hands to our hips, lengthen the spine, and come all the way upright. Okay. I'm just going to move my mat slightly lighter as well. Okay. All right, so standing at the front of the mat, again, we're going to interlace the fingers and raise the arms up. Big breath. And then exhale, you're going to bend the knees and fold forward. Now we're going to step the left leg back, drop onto the left knee, and this time inhale and raise the arms up. And then exhale, bring the left hand to the left hip, deepen through the groin, and twist to face towards that open side. Just notice if that feels too strong in the front of the groin here. If it does, just stay forwards. But if you can twist and it's not too uncomfortable, just see how you go. And then exhale, hands to the floor. And we're going to step the body back in one long line. And then either you can drop your knees to the floor or you can lower in one piece to the floor. And then move the thumbs back and just lift the upper chest. Just the upper chest, drawing the elbows close in, back of the neck long. Feel this work into the kidney area. Take a couple of breaths here. And then press up onto the hands and knees, tucking the toes under, lifting the sitting bones high to the ceiling. We're in down dog again. And then we're going to step the left foot in between the hands, drop onto the right knee, and bring the body upright. And this time we're going to bring the right hand to the right hip. So you can either deepen into the lunge with one hand up, or you can turn your body now to the right side, to the open side, and feel that stretch through the front of the groin. Now just remember, if it's too strong, you can just do it halfway. So you don't have to go all the way down, right? You can stop here and just turn and see what that feels like. You can really feel it sort of in this groin area and in the back, in that sacroiliac joint, and then coming back. So we're bringing heat and warmth into that area. This time we're going to step back into down dog. And we're just going to slowly stroll ourselves back up to our hands and let the head hang. And again, you can stop halfway or you can be folded. And then slowly lengthening through your spine and bringing yourself all the way upright. All right, so we're going to keep going. So palms to touch, inhale, raising the arms, and exhale, bending the knees and folding forwards. And then inhale, rising halfway, and then exhale, step the left leg back. Now this time, keep your knee off the floor and see if you can bring yourself all the way upright. Bend that back knee so that you, again, really feel the stretch in the front of the groin. Raise both arms up. Take a breath, lengthening through the middle fingers, opening the chest, relaxing the shoulders, tucking the tailbone under a little bit more, and then hands to the floor and stepping back into down dog. Step the left foot forward, bring your hands to your hips and bring yourself upright. Now, if this is too strong and you'd like to repeat just being on the knee, you can do that as well. Yeah? So whether you're fully in high lunge or low lunge, it doesn't matter, because what we're working on here is opening through the front of the groin. So drawing the tailbone down, raising the arms up. When we work into the groin, we're helping the breath to go deeper, to move and bring more oxygen into the body and bring more energy into the body. So lengthening through the middle fingers, hands to the floor. Again, step back into that plank position. Drop the knees and lower, or just lower in one piece. Up to you. Lift your upper chest. Press over the hands and knees. Tuck the toes under. And let's lift back up into down dog. All right. I've got to take my socks off. We're going to step up into standing pose now from down dog. So step your right foot in between your hands. Line your left heel up with your right heel. And then bring yourself upright. So we're going to come into Virabhadrasana 2 here. Yeah, so you can cartwheel one arm up and then the other, or you can just have your hands on your hips. You don't have to bend your knee too much if that's uncomfortable, or you can bend it quite a lot. Let's turn the back hip in a little bit. That's going to really release the lower back and take any pressure off the lower back. So you're slightly externally rotating that front thigh. And eventually that thigh is going to bend to 90 degrees, but it might not go there today. Mine certainly isn't. And then raising the arms at shoulder height and looking over the middle finger. And just breathe. Anchor that outer heel into the floor. Feel the inner heels moving towards each other. And really lift up through the center line of the body. And then let's straighten the leg and raise the arms, bringing the palms to touch. And exhale, bend the knee and look over the middle finger. And again, inhale, raising the arms, bringing the palms to touch. Nice, I can see everybody. And exhale, bending the knee and looking over the middle finger. And one more, inhale, raise the arms. And exhale, bend the knee and look over the middle finger. And then just straighten both legs. And then turn your other foot out. So your left foot out, your right foot in. You want to have your right foot follow the direction of your back hip. So I like to turn my back hip in just a little bit to release the lower back. And then bend the front knee. And then raising the arms and looking over the middle finger. And I also want to bring my fingers together because that just creates more energy, more focus as we hold the pose. Relax the shoulders. Feel like you're lifting from your pubic bone to your sternum. Feel that workout in the thigh. Turn that back hip in to release the lower back so there's no pressure in your lower back. All right, straighten the leg, raise the arms, palms to touch. And exhale, bend the knee and look over the middle finger. And again, inhale, straighten the arms, straighten the leg, raise the arms. Exhale and look over the middle finger. And one more. And relax. All right, so we're going to turn both toes to face forwards. And we're going to bring our hands to our hips and just open the chest, folding forward at the hip crease. Bringing the fingertips towards the floor or resting them on a block or books, whatever you've got. If you've got nothing handy and your hand doesn't reach the floor, just keep your hand on your hip, no problem. So from here, we're going to bring the right hand to the lower back, and we're just going to try to keep this left hip drawing back as we lengthen the torso and turn just the upper body. And then from here, drop the hip and raise the arm and go for it. Just let it all go out of alignment. And then bring the other hand to the floor. And again, keep everything stable, lengthen the spine, and just turn the upper part of your body. So you have to keep drawing this right hip back. Engage your thigh muscles and activate the little toe sides of your foot. And then let that hip go and just raise the arm. All right, and then from here, let's walk the fingertips back towards the feet and just let the head hang. You might just be here with your hands on your thighs. So don't worry, it's not like we're trying to get anywhere. We've got nowhere to go anyway. So we're just hanging out in our fan pose. All right, and then slowly bring your hands to your hips, lengthen your spine, bring yourself all the way upright, and let's turn the feet out slightly and just bend the knees. So this is one of my favorites, goddess pose, horse pose. And we can just, if you want to do that, let it all go. I read this article that I'm just gonna like rave for a minute while we're in this one. I heard this article the other day, like that we're in like the third phase of isolation where everybody starts to go completely stir crazy. And so yeah, this can be appropriate for that at the moment. All right, straighten your legs and come and stand at the front of your mat, and I'll stand here. So we're going to come into Garudasana. It's a nice balancing pose. Again, it kind of works into the sciatic nerve a bit because we're working with those crossed positions. So have your toes touching, have your heels slightly apart, bend your knees, and cross your right leg over your left, and just press the ball of the foot into the floor. So feel yourself really even here, really balanced, and then raise the arms out to the side, and then bend the opposite elbow so that you've got your right leg over your left, and then you're going to bend your left elbow, bring your right arm underneath, and just have the backs of the palms touching, and then if you can, bring the fronts of the hands to touch. If you feel comfortable here, just lift your foot. You can tuck it behind, or you can just lift it and just hold. Take some breaths. All right, and then release. So if you needed to come out sooner, that's totally fine. Just work with, you know, what's comfortable for you. I still feel like I'm not fully back enough. Okay. All right, and then let's change sides. So bend both knees, toes are touching, heels are slightly apart. You're going to cross the left thigh over the right, press the ball of the foot into the floor, raise the arms out to the side, bend your elbow, bring your other arm underneath, bring the backs of the palms to touch, lengthen into the shoulders, breathe behind your shoulders, squeeze your inner thighs. If you want, lift your foot, tuck that foot behind, whatever's comfortable, and then release. Okay, and then come to the front of the mat. Bring your palms to touch, raise your arms, big breath. Exhale, soften through the knees and fold forward. Inhale, rise halfway. And then we're going to step ourselves back onto the hands and knees. And we're just going to send the seat back to the heels for a moment. So just coming into child's pose. You can take your knees slightly apart. You can rest one fist on top of the other. Just take a few breaths here. Again, feeling the back of the body breathing. So we're going to work into some back bends in stages. And this might require some cushions or some props or things like that. So if you've got some pillows handy or some props handy, and this really depends on your thigh size, how much flexibility you have in your thighs. So I'm going to show you kind of the different variations based on flexibility, right? So you've got your big toes together and you've got your knees wide. And if you've got a cushion or a blanket or something, you might put it behind so that you can sit comfortably here. Or you might even take a blanket. So just if you don't have one and you need to go get one or have one handy, there's no rush, right? We've got time, so you can go and get it and come back. You can take a blanket and roll it up like a towel. If you've got a towel, get yourself a towel. And we're going to actually place it behind, so that's there to be comfortable, yeah? And then all we're going to do is we're just going to go in that backwards position. So whether you're sitting on a block, whether you're sitting on a book, whether you're sitting on a pillow, whatever you've got, just to create a little bit of space in between your heels and your thighs. And then all you're going to do is reach back. Just going to reach, it's really simple. Just reach back and open your chest. So you can see when I'm sitting up high like this, I can actually get quite a lot of opening through my chest, and your chin's going to be into your chest. So for those in the class who don't have that restriction of the tightness in the thigh or whatever, you're just going to stay with your seat back to your heels, and you're going to walk your hands back. And you're just going to keep going back until you feel like you're getting a nice stretch in the fronts of your thighs. You could even drop onto your forearms. You could lie yourself all the way back. I'm not going to demonstrate that, right? So if you've just come back and you're not sure what to do because you wait to get a towel, you're going to place that behind on your heel. So you've got something to sit on, and then you're going to bring your hands behind and just open through your chest. Yeah, so that you're just getting a stretch like that. So either way that we do it, it's going to just help to open up this front area, whether you've got a spacer behind, whether you're sitting on something. And if none of that is okay, like you're like, you know what, I can't do any of that. That doesn't feel good. I don't want to do it. You're going to come up onto your hands and knees. Sorry, you're going to come up onto your knees and tuck your toes under. Bring one hand to your lower back, raise your other arm up, and just lift slightly and open your chest. So hopefully, I've given you lots of different options depending on your body and what's going on. Right, and then if you do one side, then you're going to change and do the other side. All right, so for those of us who've been lying back this whole time and chilling out, this is a fantastic. These are all great ways to just open up the front of the thighs. We have meridians that run up here that connect into organs, so specifically the stomach and the spleen. And I think one of the big things that I've noticed in this time is that the stress and tension really gets my digestion. So I like to do these poses which release the digestion, release the psoas, and just let everything flow again. All right, so whichever pose you're in, I'd like you to come up. We're all going to bring the knees together now and come up onto the knees. We're going to tuck both toes under. And rather than doing one arm at a time, we're going to bring our hands to the lower back and just give your lower back a little bit of a massage. So you're just going to go from the top of your ribs and just move down your back. A little bit of self-touch here, especially if you're not with anyone and you don't have anyone to rub your back. You can rub your own back. So just going down and go right down into the sacrum, right down into the sacroiliac, and just go right around those little sacral dimples, the sacred dimples at the sacroiliac, and get right into the bone, like the tailbone, right? So the tailbone is 5 fused bones, and you want to rub all the way down there as well. Okay, and then we're going to turn the hands to face down. Your toes are tucked under. You're going to draw your elbows together and just lift your chest. And just make sure that you're not going too far back. So keep the hips, knees in line and just open the chest. Again, for those who have been doing yoga for a long time or you've got the flexibility, you can reach your hands back to your heels and open. Or you can just raise both arms and lift. It doesn't feel nice to have your hands back. If you want to come onto the tops of the feet and go back, you decide. But just go easy, go slow. Yeah, just keep it easy and simple. No problem. All right, and then slowly coming back, sitting back. We're going to take the knees wide and we're going to walk ourselves forwards. Right forwards, lengthening through the spine. You can relax your chin, turn your head to the side, let your forehead rest on the floor. Just taking some breaths here, inhaling and exhaling. All right, and then slowly bringing yourself back upright. Bringing the knees together and sitting to one side. And then extending your legs out in front. So a couple of people mentioned that they're dealing with sciatica, and that has a lot to do with also the piriformis. The piriformis, is like the IT band and all those muscles that run along here. So I wanted to do some nice things to stretch into the outer hips. So we're actually going to do this lying down. It's nice to do it lying down. So just slowly make your way to the front of your mat. You can roll down piece by piece, or you can roll onto your side and lie yourself back, however you want to do it. And we're going to start by doing what we did standing, the Gomukhasana position, where you're going to cross your right leg over your left, but now you're going to lift both knees up. So if you're not sure what to do, you can look at me. Hopefully it'll be clear from the demonstration. And then you can hold on to your shins and think of your shins like the handlebars of a bike. So you're going for a little ride here, and at the same time lengthen your tailbone down. So you're taking the feet out to the side, you're relaxing your shoulders, you're breathing here, feeling that stretch through the open muscles opening out to the side. If it's too much, you can just hold on behind the thigh if you don't want to hold your shins. And then take the leg that's underneath and just straighten it up to the ceiling. And you'll feel quite a strong stretch in the back of your leg. It might be too strong, so bend the knee slightly. And then feel the pressure of your belly and your thigh. All right, and then bend both knees, lower both feet to the floor. Bring your knees together, just take a moment. And then you're going to cross your left leg over your right leg and lift both knees, hold on to the calf muscles, and just taking it out to the side here. Squeeze the inner thighs, relax the shoulders, breathing. And then the leg that's underneath, we're going to straighten. Okay, and you might feel quite a big difference, like I did. This side doesn't hurt at all, the other side really hurts. So that's interesting. So we're more open, we're maybe more flexible on one side, or maybe we're dealing with some pressure in the lower back. All right, and then from here, just hug both knees in. So release the cross, hug both knees in, and then lower both feet again. And this time we're going to come into reclining ankle to knee. So you're going to cross your left leg over your right thigh. Your foot is right behind your knee. And before you lift your foot and hold on behind, just rotate, externally rotate that left thigh open. You can put your hand on your thigh and just roll it open. Yeah, so the foot is flexed, you're rolling open, you're just breathing here. And then lift your right foot, hold on with both hands behind your right thigh, press your elbow into your inner thigh, stretch and feel that stretch in the outer hip. Should feel quite strong. If it's too hard to reach behind your thigh, you can always use a sash or a towel. All right, and then lower the foot, release the leg, and change sides. You're going to lift the right foot, place it behind the knee, lift the left foot. First of all, don't lift the foot. Place your hand on your thigh and rotate your thigh out. So you're just feeling that opening, breathing into that area again. You can see which side is tighter than the other. It doesn't necessarily mean anything. It's just nice to observe, you know, what's going on in your body. And then when you come back to the practice again, you're like, oh, this is opened. Oh, this is freer. Wow. All right, and then lifting the foot, holding on behind the thigh, pressing the elbow and feeling that tightness into that outer hip. Flexing both feet. Breathing. And then releasing the legs and lowering the feet to the floor. Let's bring the knees together and the feet out for a moment. And just put your hands on your belly. And just connect with your breath. All right, and then slowly you're gonna roll to one side and bring yourself upright. You haven't quite finished. When we get down on the floor, it gets super, super relaxing and it's hard to get back up again, but bring yourself back up again. And now we're going to extend the left leg and cross the right leg over the left, just sitting nice and tall here. And you're going to, yeah, if you need to, if you're sitting back on your tailbone, this is a great time to use your towel or your blanket and just bringing yourself up on that. Give yourself a little bit of height. And then you're going to hug your right shin in, lift tall, and turn your torso to the right. Look, if it's too strong to cross the leg, you can also have it on the inside so that the heels are lined up and you can hug and turn. So yeah, so tune into your lower back. If it feels like it's too much, just take that heel, line it up with the sitting bone, and then just turn the torso. Take some breaths here. All right, and then see if you can easily cross the right knee over the left knee so that the heel, this is your right heel, is beside your left buttocks. If that's not going to work, you might even want to place like something in between. Yeah, so you could place the block there, or you could place the towel there in between, or you can just be sitting upright. If you can stack one knee on top of the other, great, just stay here. You'll feel it really stretch into the leg, into the outer hip. Squeeze the buttocks as much as you can. If you've got the flexibility, you've got no restraint here, there's no pressure, no tension, take yourself forward. Yeah? So I can only go this far, otherwise it's too strong. But you might be here, you might be here. You might even just be here and hugging your shin in if that's too much for your lower back. So again, just trying to give you as many options so that, you know, even here, you're really working your thigh, you're extending your spine, you're breathing. There's so much that you can do. All right, and then let's change sides. So same props, everything that you needed for this side, same variations. So bringing the heel either close in towards the sitting bone or crossing the foot over the thigh, hugging the shin in and turning, flexing through the foot, breathing here, inhaling and exhaling. Noticing that feeling of stretching in this whole outer hip area. You might even like to draw your abdomen back to your spine as you inhale and twist. So when I'm doing my practice, I like to think of all the little tiny details that make the pose come alive. All right, and then coming back to center, you can either just keep the foot where it is, or as I was saying, you can let the knees stack on top of each other with the heel close beside, or you can just sit with your foot in like so. So you decide what feels comfortable. Maybe this is enough today because you've already done a lot and it's strong. All right, and then for those who feel totally open and flexible, just go forwards. But I'm just going to be staying here. And just, you can even have the back of the neck long, breathing into the back of your body. And then coming upright. All right, so now we're going to just bring the soles of the feet together and the knees wide into Baddha Konasana. If your hips are quite tight, you want to bring the feet further away. If you are really flexible, you can bring the feet really close. So you decide what feels good. If you've got blocks with you, or books, or blankets, or towels, you can even stick those here underneath your thighs. So whatever's comfortable. And then just sitting tall. Also, you could sit on your blanket or your towel or your cushion. And bring your hands to your ankles. So don't hold your feet, just hold your ankles and squeeze your buttocks together and let the thighs open. Feel this whole spine long. Chin is down slightly, you're just breathing here. And we're doing exactly the opposite of what we've been doing. So we've been doing all these cross movements and getting right into those muscles that run around the buttocks. Now we're just working into the inner thighs and we're using external rotation and completely changing the movement. So we're always trying to work with balance and counterbalance in the practice. So squeezing the inner thighs, pressing the feet together, opening the chest, relaxing, breathing here. If you want to sit up against the wall, if that's more comfortable, go ahead and do that. And then just release. All right. So come into a comfortable seat again. We're going to do a little breathing practice now. This is one of my all-time favorites. And here in South Africa, it's sunset. So I'm actually looking at these colors right now. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring the colors of sunset and sunrise into our bodies. So on the inhalation, we're going to imagine that we're breathing in blue sky colored light. And you're going to let that breath fill up from your toes all the way up through your legs, through the body, all the way to the crown of the head on the inhalation. And then you're going to hold your breath, drop your chin, and solidify all through here. And as you hold your breath, you're going to imagine that you're bringing in beautiful pink light, like a pink mist. And then when you exhale, you're going to visualize that you're surrounding yourself in golden light. Yeah, so like an egg-shaped golden light. So we're not going to use any particular breath count. I just want you to work with your own breath timing. You can use Ujjayi breath, or you can just use a regular breath. So if you don't know what Ujjayi is, don't worry, just do a regular breath. But you want to try and have the inhalation, the pause, and the exhalation be as even as possible. And this is a really beautiful technique to use anytime that you're feeling like you want to bring more balance into your mind, your body, your emotions. Yeah. So we're just going to do a few rounds, and I'll just lead you through. And then after that, we'll move into relaxation. All right. So taking a nice breath here, breathing in, and as you breathe in, imagine that you're filling your body with beautiful blue sky colored light, breathing from your toes all the way up to the crown of your head. At the top of the inhalation, you're going to drop your chin, hold your breath, and visualize a rose mist moving into every cell, healing, calming, beautiful, soft pink mist. And then as you exhale, you're going to raise your chin and surround yourself in a beautiful, healing, golden light. And then again, when you're ready, you inhale, breathing in blue sky-colored light from your toes to the crown of your head, holding your breath, visualizing a rose mist moving into every cell. And then as you exhale, surrounding yourself in a beautiful golden light. Again, as you inhale, breathing in blue sky-colored light. Holding the breath and visualizing a rose mist moving into every cell. And as you exhale, breathing out blue golden light. I want you to do a few more rounds on your own. We'll just do that in silence. And then I'll tell you when it's time to finish. See if you can have the length of the inhalation be as long as the pause and as long as the exhalation. Just do 2 more rounds. At the end of your next exhalation, just sit quietly for a few moments. Feel the energy really coalescing in the center of your heart. If you want, just put your hand on your heart. And just feel the beating of your heart and just the grace of being alive. And then just gently lie yourself back for relaxation. Make sure that you are warm and comfortable. When you lie down, just let your whole body flop onto the floor. Really let everything go. So, it was a very simple practice, but simple doesn't mean that it doesn't have profound results. In fact, the simpler our practice, the deeper we can go. So as you lie here on the floor, just really connect with the feeling of your body. What's happening in your body right now? Where do you feel the energy? You might feel there's areas of tension still. See if you can go to a part of your body where it's completely neutral, where there's no tension at all. And just completely relax there. Could be your big toe, could be your nose, could be your elbow. Just go to that place in your body where there's no feeling one way or the other, completely neutral. And then relax your mind completely. Don't do anything. Let go of needing to do anything, be anything. Just total relaxation, effortless relaxation. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namo Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. So slowly bring your awareness back to your body, moving your fingers and your toes. You might like to take a big stretch, lengthening through the fingers, lengthening through the feet. And then just roll to your side. You choose the side. And just stay on your side for a few moments. Really let your heart rate, everything adjust. And then bring yourself back up to a comfortable seat. I'm just going to forward for a moment so I can